All right, wonderful people. Let's go to technique number 2 for Adobe Photoshop. So last week we color splashed a photograph. Remember, we took our original photograph, we edited it inside Photoshop, we increased the contrast, saturation, played a little bit with the light source, and then we color splashed it by duplicating the layer. We went to adjustments, we made the contrast increase so that we can get that dynamic tension, and then we went in and erased the black and white layer so that the color could show underneath. So what we're going to do today is we're going to collage photographs. So first thing that we need to do is we're going to take both of our photographs, and I have one selected, and then I'm going to hold Command, select the other one. They're already on my desktop. They are not edited. These are the two people sitting on a bench or a ledge, something of that nature. Those are the two you're going to use. I'm going to drag them to Photoshop so they can both open. And I also don't have anything open on the running in the background to kill my memory. Excuse that annoying bell. Alright, so both of my pictures are in. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to edit them to make sure I have the light in the composition the way I actually would like for them to be. Okay? So here I'm going to go to image. Well, first I'm going to unlock. I think Eli gave us a quick command last week that was really nice. And every time that you guys learn something, I want you to tell me. Don't feel like I know everything. I have been doing Photoshop for a while, but I also do it from an artistic standpoint. There are some technicalities that I don't know and that I'm still learning and finding out new things, especially as new editions come out. So remember, we keep it Ohana in here. Nobody gets left behind. So this is up to, at this point, it's up to you how you want to address this. So I want a lighter picture. I took this on the backstage behind the theater room. So I want to increase the brightness a little bit. So I'm going to lighten it up. And then I also want to increase the saturation of the blue in the sky. So I'm going to go ahead and lighten that up and make that really blue. Okay, that's about where I want it to be. I'm content with that. Remember, this is just a learning process. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my other picture, Mr. Johnson, and I'm going to do the same thing because I want them to be in the same photo. Okay, and then I'm going to increase the saturation on here, which is interesting because there's a huge shift in the sky. I have more blue in the sky showing up. All right, okay. So then I'm going to go back to my regular shot. All right, I can see that my eyes open, the layer's unlocked. Go to this one, the eye is open, and I'm just going to unlock the layer just, you know, for practical purposes and just to get in the habit of doing it. So at this stage, I have both of my photographs edited. They're both opened up at the same time. I'm going to go to the primary photograph that I want to use, which I think I want to primarily use this one. I'm going to go ahead and go with this one. I think I can make it work in this one, okay? I'm going to go over to my toolbar, which is on the left side of your screen, and you're going to go down to the fourth tool, which is called Quick Selection Tool. I'm going to hold the bottom arrow and select the top one, okay? What this will allow me to do is select objects or areas within my composition that I want to use in another composition. This is how you go about collaging photographs into one. So I'm going to collage Mr. Johnson into my photograph. So when I have the quick selection tool, I'm on this layer, and all I need to do is start to click Mr. Johnson. And the way the computer works, which is wonderful, I'm never going to lift up my finger. It's automatically going to pick him up. I'm just going to go around his body, go to the edge of his shoes, make sure I get that little piece right here, and then I'm going to go back up, make sure I get his knees, and I've got all of him. Now, if you notice, there's some things and there's areas where I have too much of him, like right here, and especially over here on these bricks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of them. But I want to still maintain the rest of the composition that I've selected to collage. So if you look at your keyboard, at the bottom you'll see FN, you see Control, Alt, Option, and Command. You want to select Alt, Option, because if you look at your cursor, you'll see a plus. If I select Alt, Option, you see a minus. That means I want to take that away. So I'm going to now hold and take those areas away so that I don't collage that part. I'll come over here and do the same thing. I'll hold down Alt. I got my minus sign up, and I can get rid of these extra ledges because I don't really want them. Come up here and I'll do the same thing. That way I can get rid of it. Now here, I want to pick up some of it, okay? All right. And I think I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, I'm happy with the way that works. It's wanting to cut his badge out, which is what I don't want. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that I have that in here still. I want to make sure that's secure. Okay. All right. Now, just like if you were in Microsoft Word or anything else, some quick commands will still be applicable to Photoshop. So I'm going to hit Command C, and I've copied my image. Then I'm going to go back to me, and I'm going to hit Command V. Mr. Johnson is now collaged in my photograph, but I have to place him. So automatically, you'll see when I collage him and bring him in, he's going to be on a new layer. So I need to make sure that I'm selecting that layer and not on the original layer, because I want to be able to move him. So I'm going to go up here and make sure that my cursor is selected. And I'm going to move him to where I want, which is right on my ledge. Now, if you pay attention, look what will happen if I was to move him down here. You see this right here? That's the gray part that was right here on the ledge. So I need to make sure that that lines up so it looks like he's actually sitting on the ledge. And it does. I have it to where he's sitting on the ledge. So now that he is there, I can lock that layer, or actually I'm going to merge those two. I'm going to merge them into one photograph so I can edit it the way I want. So now I have one solid photograph. I'm going to go ahead and close this one because I don't need it anymore. And I don't need to save it. I'm just going to keep working with this one. Okay, so now I have this picture. Now, there's a couple of different things that I can do to make this actually look believable. And the first thing that I'm going to do is increase some of the colors that I have. And I'm actually going to demerge them. And I'm going to go back to me, because if you look, Mr. Johnson's colors look really sharp. Mine look a little dull. So I'm going to come back and increase my blue a little bit, see if I can match him. And I have a little bit of orange showing up on my skin, which is the same as him. All right. Go to my contrast. I'm going to play with some levels just a little bit to see if I can pull both of us up. All right. I'm also noticing that it's a little dark under here. It's probably giving a cast shadow. I can burn areas of the photograph to make it look like it's a little bit darker. So I'm going to go over here to the left, and I'm going to go down to my Burn and Dodge tool. All right, it's right below the raindrop. Burn means you want to make it darker. Dodge means you want to add more light. So I'm going to burn. And you can see I have my cursor selected. I'm going to go up here and change the size. I want it to be a little bigger. And I want it to be airy. So I'm going to pick the one that looks like a spray can. And I don't want too much harshness. And I want it to be a little bit bigger because I want it to go right underneath his feet. Not that big. Let's decrease it just a little bit. Okay. So I'm going to go under here. And if you look, subtly I'm able to add my shadow underneath there. As if he has his feet hanging over. Okay? The next thing that I'm going to do now, I'm going to go ahead and merge it. They're both at a place where I'm comfortable with. I'm going to go merge it so that everything that happens to the original photograph will also happen to the one where I collaged Mr. J in. All right? So now I want to increase the contrast again as a unified composition. Not too much. Okay. All right. And we're going to have fun now. Now I'm going to add some text. So I'm going to scroll down to my T. Let's see if it won't crash. And then hold down the corner. It won't let me do it. A horizontal type because I'm going across. And I'm going to put it in the bottom left-hand corner. And it's going to be a little tiny cursor. So I'm going to hit Command plus so I can zoom in all the way to the bottom. It's right here. And in caps, I'm cheesy. So I'm going to put I love you, Mr. Johnson. Okay. Then I'm going to select it. Once you select it, hit Command T. That brings up your text box. You can change your font style, anything you want. Want fun. I like Bradley. And then I want a larger font, so I'm going to put it up to 60. And the color is pink. And I think I want to change it to one of those blues. Click OK. Go back to my cursor and I'm done. Zoom out. And if it's not in a place where you're happy with, you can move it. You can move it to anywhere you want. I'm going to put it right here in the center, actually. I like it there. Okay? Once you have that set up and done, you are going to save it and export it. Okay? So, File, Save As, Collage. And this PSD you don't have to worry about. I need to go to JPEG. All right? Maximum file. And then I'm done. I'm going to click my desktop to see if it's there. It's right there. Okay? Come back here. And I will quit Photoshop. If you're not done, then you can save it. But I'm done, so I'm going to go ahead and save it. Then we'll go back to our keynote that we did. Look at that wonderful crash. Oops, I selected Photoshop. Let's go to Keynote. And I have it here. I'm going to go ahead and just duplicate this slide and delete these photographs. And double click here and we are collaging. So I'm just going to put collage shots. Or I'm sorry, collage photographs. Okay. So now that I have that, same process. So I'm bringing in all 3 of my pictures. All right. So this is in, and I'm going to make these a little small because I want Miss Johnson to focus on what I did, not the original shots. Make this a little smaller. Presentation is everything, ladies and gentlemen. And then here's my shot, and I actually like that size. Let's make it just a little bit there. Okay, the top and bottom line are a little off, center. So here, here. And I really want this to read well, so I'm actually going to put a reflection on those. And then I'm good. And then I'm going to save that. And that's my expectation for today. That's it, guys. All right.